We will try to understand how to pass array of elements, how to pass a subject, and how do you invoke an Apex class from the Lightning component. First, I am trying to take Lightning component. It's object example. Here we are trying to take Yura attribute name equal to ACC, type equal to object, or you can give name equal to type equal to subject, or type equal to whatever your choice is. Now this is like when you define it like this. When I define it like this, I was taking corner. Lightning input value equal to v dot acc dot v dot acc dot name. Now I was making some mistake here. Let me explain the mistake what I made. I was making a mistake here. Let me explain you what is the mistake. When I give attribute name equal to ACC, type equal to account, it means it is defining account ACC. That's all. I have defined only account ACC. When you define account ACC, if I take Apex input text value equal to ACC dot name, is it valid or invalid? If I define it like this, is it valid or invalid?
Valid.
Now we only given account ACC. Did you assign any object for it? No. The value of ACC is what? Null. The value of ACC is null. The value of ACC is null. We have not assigned any instance of the memory to it. ACC is a reference variable. We have not assigned any memory to it. Obviously, when I enter the data and click on the form, null dot name is an error. Null dot phone is an error. Okay. The same context will repeat here. Same context will repeat here. Account, standard account. Then I was trying to give some action here. Yura set attribute actions lightning button right. I'll try to just perform the basic operation. ACC dot name, ACC dot phone industry. Then I was giving where ACC equal to component dot get right, boss. When you call this, what is the action we are performing? V dot ACC. V dot ACC. And I was giving you console dot log account. I hope you're good with this. Right. Anyone has any difficulty in understanding the point? I took attribute as ACC, type is account. I not assign any memory to it. Right. Then we are saying lightning card, button, and couple of input. Now it is attribute v dot ACC. In ACC we have name, phone, industry. Right. Let me add up. I hope everyone is good with that. Right. You can respond, boss. It's okay. Okay. It's okay. You can respond. I'm giving questions. SLDS. I have given this. When I go to the preview, we got a account. We can also give some labels here. As usual, people know what is the difference between input text and input field. So I have taken this. Go for a preview. Then, now, what is that? Error. Cannot read a property name of null. Why name of null? This is what I gave you. I gave you account ACC. When I took account ACC, if no memory is allocated to that, it is going to refer to null. Any reference variable, if any data type you take in the Salesforce, if the value was not assigned, the default value is going to be null. Any variable in the Salesforce, if the value is not assigned, it is going to take a null. Now account ACC dot name null, ACC dot phone null dot name null dot phone. The same story you used to define like this. I define like this. You define like this, I define like this. That's the only difference. Then, if I want to use this, what I was supposed to do? ACC equal to the node. Or else, if already, this is one story. Or else, what is the second story? If somebody has already defined then I'm going to say account ACC equal to A. Any one of these. Either I have to assign the memory like this, or else if already some account is there, assign that account to ACC. Either you get one of the account and assign to ACC, or else for ACC you assign a new memory location. Either of this you have to do it. Now in this context, I am not referring to any one of the data. If I go to Apex class, write a SQL query, get the data, I can assign some of the existing data. But I am not going to any Apex class. So I was supposed to assign the memory. How would you assign the memory from the component itself? At the time of creating the attribute itself, you want to initialize the S object. At the time of creating the component itself, you want to initialize the S object. So when you defined attribute and you want to initialize, you have to give it here default equal to S object type account, comma. You want to assign values of other attributes, you can assign it. Like you want to assign you can give it. But in my case, I don't want to give the values for any other, just want to initialize the value of S object. Now when I say S object type account, now it's like account ACC equal to new account. Account ACC equal to new account. Now ACC.name is not null, it is blank. ACC.name is okay. ACC.name, memory is already allocated, name value is blank. Previously, if I don't define it, it is like account ACC. When I say ACC.name, null.name, ACC.phone, null.phone. But here it is not a null. We already assigned one object, we are referring that object. Okay. Now go back to the page. I hope you got the context. People have got the context, boss. Then let me refresh the page. Previously we got an error. Now we are not getting the error. Previously, what is the error? The moment I enter the name of null is not defined. Submit. When I submit, Go to the inspect. Also. Now we got whatever the data you want individually you have to take it and print it. So how do you print the values individually? Go back. This is how we got the store. I hope you are good with this, right? Okay. I will revise the points one more time. If you have got queries, get them clarified.
Satish, one query.
Yes, sir.
Why we take the type as account and then default as S object account? What was the difference between that type and S object account?
Now, type is account, which says account ACC. When you define a type, it's a data type. When you say type, it's a data type. So it gives you account ACC only. Variable name is ACC, data type is account. So what is created? Account ACC. Now what you are supposed to do? Assign the memory. To assign that memory, we have taken a default. Got it?
Okay, fine.
Now, you raw attribute. I have taken a name, type, string. You raw attribute, name, ACC, type, account. Now look at this. The meaning of this is string, name, account, ACC, object. This is the meaning of what I created. When I created attribute name equal to name, attribute name equal to name, type equal to string, it means string name. When I say attribute name equal to ACC, type equal to account, it is account ACC. Attribute equal to CON, type equal to object, it means object CON. This is the meaning of this. Right? Okay. Now, what is the value of name? Null. But it is a primitive. So we don't use name.acc or something like that. It's a value. When you say account ACC, it is not it's not a primitive. It is a reference. Reference will refer to one location. In that location, we have name, industry, phone, so and so. Now, when I say acc.name, what is acc? Null. In general, what is the point of your object creation, boss? What is the meaning of this? New is allocating memory, and that memory is referred by a variable called ACC. Now, for your understanding, I am assuming that this is a location of 1000. The memory location is, let us say, 1000. Address location is 1000. That ACC is referring to the address location of 1000. Internally, we call it as a hash code, but to make it simple, that ACC is referring to the memory which was allocated. New allocated the memory. Where is that memory? We don't know where is that memory. So, if you want to refer to the memory, we create a pointer to the memory. This memory is referred by ACC. Okay. Then we are saying ACC dot name equal to Wipro. What does it mean? Whatever the memory that ACC is referring in that location, ACC dot, in that location, value of name is Wipro. Value of phone is, this is the meaning of referring ACC dot name, ACC dot phone. Now, what did I say? Account ACC. Now, ACC is referring to which memory? No memory. When you say ACC dot name equal to Wipro, in which memory I have to put? If you are referring to any memory, I will go to that location, put the value. But ACC is what? Null. Now if you say null dot name equal to Wipro, I don't have a memory location called null. Now when you say account ACC equal to new account, new will create some memory. Okay, that memory is referred by ACC. Now when I say ACC referring to the memory created by new keyword. But here, what is ACC? Null. It is not referring to any memory. When I say put a name equal to Wipro, in which location I have to put? That's why it is giving an error message. That is the purpose. Now, account ACC is variable. Account ACC is variable. See, ACC is what? It is a reference variable. Object is what? What is an object? New account is an object. ACC is not the object. ACC is not the object. ACC is what? Variable. What type of variable? Reference variable. What is an object? New is object. New is the one which is creating an object. That object is referred by the variable called ACC. What is that new? New is an object which is allocating some memory. That is referred by the variable called ACC, which is called reference variable. So that reference variable is referring to some object, some location. Are you clear? Now why in this case it is failing? It is only account ACC. The moment you say account ACC, now writing input, value equal to ACC. What is the value of ACC? Null. So v dot ACC dot name, null dot name. So it was an error. Right? This is a basic story. Now let me throw the error message. Give any icon name. Sorry. So the moment I entered, what is the value you are getting? Cannot read a property name of null value. Null dot name. Okay. That is the reason we are supposed to create an object. When you create an object, so this ACC, I'm giving default. It's like within the constructor you are giving ACC equal to new account. Within the constructor if you give, at the time of loading only it will create. Here also I'm giving default. Here I was giving this object. Now you are creating which type of object I have to create? Account. Which type of object you are creating? Account. Right? There is no issue. There is no issue. Similarly, second one I have taken. Second one I have taken. Then go back. It is throwing an error message. Throwing an error message. Right? Why? No memory was allocated. And what I was able to give here. Here I was supposed to. It's object type.
Can we? So, Sadish, I have a question.
Let me finish first. So I was giving it as object type contact. What was the bug here? So I have taken this object type. We can give this object. Okay, I just want to convey whether the object can be taken there. So we have taken S object. So we have taken here account, or when you are not sure, we are taking S object. Account I have taken here, I am taking as S object. Account here I am taking as S object, right? Right, boss? Okay. So S object is, I am not sure about what type of object is this. So when you are taking, it is like S object CON equal to new contact. S object CON equal to new contact. Is that was clear for everyone? Right. Yes, go ahead. What is your query?
Yeah, instead of using default assignment, can we also use handler init to
See.
assign the same?
Now the point here is, if you want to assign an S object, you have to know the way of creating a S object from the JavaScript. Right? How to create an S object from the JavaScript. There you need to understand how to include the Ajax functionality or expose error connection. As we have not covered that, we are straight away going with this. Now there are many ways of assigning it. With respect to the topics what we are seeing, this is only the option what we have. Okay. I hope you got my point, Amma?
Yeah.
Right. Now, the same thing we have done in the Ajax. Do you remember? In the development classes, we have done S controller programs. We have done sports dot connection dot. Do you remember that point? Do you remember that SQL query and DML from JavaScript? Do people remember that functionality? Where ACC equal to new we have done this type of functionality in JavaScript, Ajax functionality. S controller programming. No? This is how you create S object from JavaScript. But for this, you need to include some plugins. Now, to do this, what is the plugin we used? Some version number slash we implemented this type of functionality. Okay. This is how we need to use it. But for this, we need to include some plugins. Okay. That's the answer for your question. Okay. So this is how we are giving it. So we have seen how to create a subject. Now when you click on the button, I want some action to be performed here. So let us read the values. Yura, set, then we have what I'm doing, where ACC equal to component dot get. So the purpose of creating this S object is when I'm calling an Apex class, if I want to pass S object as a parameter, there is a reason we have just seen this one. Now I'm going to create an Apex classes from the component. There I need to pass some primitive values. I need to pass some S object values, or they may be passing some list of account records. Then how will you display them? For the sake of that, we are trying to understand this concept. Yeah. So go to the review. Going to submit. Inspect the element. This is how we are able to read the values. I hope you are good with this. Clear for everyone? Okay. Now the point here is, we have created this. If you want to create them like a sections, now if you want to create them like a section, how will you create? Here we have a concept called layout. S object is clear, right? Okay. Now I want to organize this page. When you want to organize this page, I have a page like this. As I discussed yesterday, I want to divide them into blocks. I want to divide them into blocks. It's called layout. Layout. In the layout, we have layout items. We have a layout. In that layout, we have a layout items like a page block section. Page block, the page block section. In the page block section, what you are doing? Number of columns. How many columns you can have? You may have one page block section with one column. Second page block section you may have with two columns. Third page block section you may have with three columns. So you are breaking the page into number of rows, and a row will have how many columns. Like that layout. We got a block. You want to break that block into how many columns? You want to break that, okay. You want to break that row into how many columns? You want to break that row into how many columns? Why I was taking? Now I don't want to display account and contact data in a single page. I don't want to display like this. Account I want on the left, contact I want on the right. Account data, contact data, opportunity data. I want to take like a 3 different sections. Okay. So to handle this, we are going for a concept called lightning layout. Lightning layout items. Lightning layout items. So let me show you that. Lightning layout items. Now if you are going with this, lightning layout items. Now what was this? Breaking the row into number of columns. Breaking the row into number of columns. Okay. Breaking the layout into number of columns. Now let us get into the structure here. I feel that people have followed this concept clearly as object, right? This as object is clear for everyone. Okay. Lightning layout item. So here, one important point. Observe the differences carefully. Layout item. Like your page block section with the number of page block section items. Now, how many columns you define? 2 columns. Layout 1, layout item 1, layout item 2. 3 columns, 1, 2, 3. 1 column, 1 per each. Okay. Now listen to the context carefully, Amma. As you have not mentioned size of the layout, If you mention the size of the layout, they might have taken it. But you have not mentioned the size of the layout. If you don't mention the size of the layout, as per the size of the data what you entered, they will be taken. As you have not mentioned the size, it will take as per the length of the data. So here I was giving size equal to 12. Padding. Here we have a property called around small. In all the directions, you want to give a small length. We have a around small, around XL. This is top and bottom. I want to give. Here I was giving size equal to 6. Row size is basically the size of the row is 12. The size of the row is 12. So I was giving size equal to 6. So we are dividing row into 2 columns. Now each row length is maximum 12. Now when I say size equal to 12, this is one row, this is second row. Then I should say multiple rows equal to true. Multiple rows equal to 2. True. Let's go back to this. Was the bug here? Let me look at the property one more time. Multiple rows equal to true. Yeah. So what happened here? We got the row. We got the row. First one and second categories. Are you getting my point? Now this is a single row. This is single row and the second row is divided into 2, 1. Now whatever you write within that will be displayed. Whatever we write within that will be displayed. Let me show you. Now I was trying to give you the same story. Now divide into 3 columns. Are you getting my point? Now I'll put the elements in that. You get a bonus for it so that you understand it carefully. I hope you are good with this one. So it is like a page block section. In the page block section, what we used to do, boss? Simple, this concept can be compared with the page block section. Now columns equal to, when you say columns equal to 1, in the entire row we have only one column. So how many elements will be displayed? One element. Then I have given second page block section. Columns equal to 3. Right. Now the maximum size of the row is 12 here. Maximum size of the row is 12. You cannot alter it. Maximum size of the row is 12. Maximum size of the row is 12. Maximum size of the row is 12. Are you getting my point here? Maximum size of the row is 12. We cannot override it. Maximum size of the row is 12. Maximum size of the row is 12. Okay. So for your understanding purpose, I'll try to take some div here. I will apply the CSS. I'll apply the CSS, but look at the point. First, understand the core theme, that it is breaking the data into number of blocks. Right, Bob? Now, let us try to apply the same concept with respect to our requirement. Now, the previous example and this example I will combine. Layout with layout item, is that was clear? Everyone is good? Am I clear with this? Layout with layout item. Now, the previous example, what I have taken? S object. Now, I will combine the S object with this concept. Let us take this example. Listen carefully. Now, let me make the useful use case here, meaningful use case here. lightning layout. Multiple rows equal to true. Let me cross check the spelling once again. Okay. Now, first one I'm taking lightning card title. Jira set attribute actions lightning card lightning button group lightning button now. So what I was doing in the lightning layout item size equal to 1. So how many items per row? Single item. Per row how many items I have taken? Single item. Let me display the data till here. Just to give the structure, I'm giving some spaces here. Was that? Then go back to the let's have a preview. Some structure again. Right? This is the structure what I get. Because I gave size equal to 12, we got this data. Because I gave size equal to 12, we got this data. Right? In a single row, we got it. In the single row, we are getting this data. Because I gave size equal to 12, we are getting this data in a single row. Okay. In a single row, we are getting this data. Now, let us go to the next one. This is lightning layout to item 1. Then I am taking the next layout item 1. Layout item. Then when you go to the lighting layout item, size equal to 6. I can give size equal to 4. Size equal to the div I am giving. Lighting. Class equal to layout item. In this I am trying to print. Now let me create one more layout item where the size equal to 8. Size equal to 8. Then here we have now I got second row I took 4, 8. Second row I took, what was that? The second row I took, so I took here on last name. Now apply. First let me show the view. Now we are getting this structure. Now I want to give a border for it. I want to give a border for the element. Okay. So here I want to give now style. They are inner elements, right? Border. But unless I specify the width and height, you will not be able to give border. Right? So look at this. Now what we got here? This is the layout. Okay. Now finally what we are doing? Again the same story, the same page what I was trying to build from the day one.
Hello, Satish.
1 minute, let me finish. Now, so look at the structure. Now we'll be able to build this structure now. We'll be able to build this structure. So what I was trying to do, now lightning card. Last few classes we are doing the lightning card, right? Action under the data. Then we are creating the layout. Now we want multiple rows and we want to divide. Now I took 4, 8. Now they have taken 3, 9, 9, 3. They have taken 9, 3. I have taken 4, 8. They have taken 9, 3. Right, boss? Now what is the information we are going to print? We'll see how to get the different structure. But the layout, the theme of the story, this is the theme of the story. Are you getting my point here? Is that was clear? Right? So how we are building? So we are creating a lightning card and we are printing a data, actions on the top, right? At the same time we are taking layout items and we want to print it. So here I have taken S object. But only the difference what I have done is, because still we have not seen how to fetch the data from database. So what I have done? I just created two S objects to differentiate these two. I hope you are good. Yes? Okay, go ahead, Amma. What is your question?
Satish, we are getting gap between this account details box and contact details box because of putting that padding
Exactly. Bigger padding,
around the
Yes.
small, or
I told padding small.
okay, then how come the difference will come, Satish? If we are putting the columns equal to 2 or 3 also, then also
See,
we will be getting in
now,
the form of multiple columns, no,
see,
Satish?
when you say padding small, between the elements means between these elements, between these elements, between these elements. Okay, you define 3 or 4 between the every element in the between every layout item. Give the small space. That is the meaning. Got it, Amma?
Okay, 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 Satish.
Right? Is that was clear for everyone? Right? Clear for everyone? Okay. Now the point is that I was trying to convey the same message in the last lesson also. What was my point? Now, if you enter the account data and submit, the data should be displayed in other component. Whatever the data I am trying to enter here, the same data should be displayed here. Until I complete this should not be displayed. When I enter the data, click on the submit button, then only the second block should be displayed. Otherwise, don't display the second block. Are you getting my point? Yesterday we are done. Enter the account data, click on the button at the bottom. At the bottom. Now I want to control this. How can you control this? Right. Have you followed this example, everyone? Everyone is good with this example? Followed? Okay. Now,
Satish, I have one question.
go ahead.
On that layout, can you show me that layout box
Come again.
on the application? On the application, can you just go back? Yeah. So here, invoice page, that section size is 6, is it? And that account details is
Now,
3.
now the top one what I gave, this is one layout item. In the layout item, I gave size equal to 12. There's a reason lightning card is displayed with the size of 12. Now, I am not specifying the size of this. This is what lightning card. Now, lightning card I created with the icon and title, and I told display this lightning card with the size 12. So that's the reason complete row was occupied by that lightning card. I didn't mention the size of the lightning card. I mentioned the size of the layout item. In the layout item, I told size equal to 12. So the row has only one column. In that column, display lightning card. Okay, right, Amma?
Okay. Yeah. Can you show me the code also once? Yeah. So this is one layout.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to the next step. Here I was giving lightning era if is true. Flag. Now I was giving this is what I get. I get told display this lightning card only if that if is true. What was that? 1 minute. Display this lightning card only when flag is true. So what I will do? I will enter the data, click on the submit. When you submit the data, when you click on the submit, I will make the flag equal to true, then this block will be displayed. Otherwise, the block will be hidden. Did you get my point? Did you get my point? Once I enter the data, I will click on the button. Once I click on the button, okay, I will set the action equal to flag equal to true, then the block will be displayed. Right. What I am trying to display in the block, whatever the data you entered here, same data I want to display on the block. Whatever the data you entered here, same data I want to display on the block. I hope you got my point. Right? Is that was clear? So this is what we have seen in the last class, Urife. Okay. I hope whatever the topics you have seen, you got a meaningful structure. Now purpose of all the topics what you have seen in a single UI you are able to understand it. right? So every element you have taken. I hope everyone is good with this. Clear? Right. So let us come back. I hope everyone has followed this. Sure? Right? Paka. Right. Now, so what is the concept here? Layout with a layout item. Now, what is the next concept we need to see? We need to understand the concept of how to display array of elements, group of elements. How to display group of elements. The moment I say group of elements, what we have? Group of elements are referred with array, list, set, map. Array, list, set, map. Array, list, set, map. Right now we look at array, list and set. Okay, let us try out with these elements. We are just having introduction of the concepts, make a use cases out of it. Once we are done with the basics, then we are going with array of elements. So how are you defining it? Integer array. Default. You have to put it in the array bracket. Yes. Now I created three elements: arrays, list, set. The question here is, how will you display? The question here is, how will you display a group of elements? How will you display a group of elements? If you want to display group of elements in the Visual Force page, we have a concept of page block table, data list, repeat. Those are the concepts which we used to use to display a group of elements. Am I right? In the VF page, if I want to display a group of element, page block table, data list, repeat we used to do. Similarly, here if you want to go for a list of elements, how will you display? If you want to display a list of elements, the concept of what I am going to use is, so for the practice purpose, I'll also use lightning layout. Lightning layout item, just to reuse the concept. Size equal to 4, padding, I have taken, right, and also I will try to give some div, because I need a border here. Right. So we need to apply some style. There is inner one or outer one? Inner one. Okay. Now the question is, how will you display group of elements? Here we have URA creation. What is the concept you have to use? URA iteration. There, I will try to compare for your understanding purpose. Repeat. Value equal to array of elements are equal to. Am I right? Here also, instead of value, we have items equal to v dot ages var equal to. There we used to give value equal to, here we used to give items equal to. I want to print on a separate line. What are you trying to print? Now, let me go with this. Now we are getting here value. So what do you want? You want A to be printed. Then printing the value of. Similarly, we have the next one. V dot var equal to. So this is how we are printing the data. Third one we have. So here I want to convey whether it will be taking list value, whether it will be taking set value, whether it will be taking array value or not. I want to convey iteration will be taking a list value, array value and set value or not. This is how we got it. Now, why I have mentioned here, if you generally go with a page block table, data list, repeat, they only take list or map. They only take list or map, they don't take set. But whereas here the iteration will take list, set, map, array. We will not cover the map concept yet. It has one extra concept to be covered. Okay. So we'll come back to the map after completing few examples. So what is that? When you have array of elements, how to fetch the elements and display it. How are you displaying? URA iteration, items equal to list of elements, where one by one element we are taking. Is that was clear for everyone? Right. We are getting 3 blocks because I used lightning layout item. I told 4, 4, 4. That's the reason we got 4 different columns here. Is that was clear for everyone? Everyone is clear with this? Right. Now,
I have a
one minute. Please allow me to complete for some time. Okay, last one question. Now, the point here is, I don't want to take see the size of the boxes are changing. Now, I took 3, 4 elements, I got one size, 4 elements, one size, the other box size is coming is different. Now, when you go to this application, what are you trying to find? Each size is irrespective of data size. Now, the size of the box is same, right? The size of the box is same. So, what they are trying to do? They are trying to take. Now, tell me, how can I achieve this structure? How can I achieve this structure? Now, it's a
maximum
loop.
height.
Now, this is a loop. Now, I have got a list of names. In the loop, they have taken a lighting layout. Where they have 2 lighting layout items. Layout item 1, layout item 2. Layout item 1, they have defined their own CSS structure. Background color is white. Then in the lighting layout 1, how many? Size equal to 12. Now this is the lighting layout. This is the lighting layout 1, 2. Lighting layout. Okay. Lighting layout item 1, item 2. Lighting layout item 1, item 2. Now when I say 12, with respect to the size of, with respect to the space where I am printing, that space size is 12. Okay, there will be auto adjust based on the component. It will be auto adjust. Okay, are you getting my point? When I say 12, with respect to the space where I am printing, the space size it is going to consider as 12. In the 12, you divide how you want. Okay, you can try out this example from your end. It is the combination of loop, layout items. It is a combination of loop and layout items. It is a combination of loop and layout items. We can take the combination of loop and layout items. Is there any possibility of printing this? Now, try out this example from here. Now, the hint is list of them. Now, what you are supposed to do? Layout item, size equal to 4. Layout item, size equal to 4. So, every item is size is 4. So, whatever you print, that should be printed in the 4 only. 4, 4, 4. In the layout item, you create a layout. In the layout item, again you create a layout with 2 elements. In the first element, some message. Second element, some other message. Did you get my point? Did you get my point? I'll just give a rough hint. You can try from your end at your places. Lightning layout. Now you don't get images and all this stuff, but the structure you can get it. Right. So I wrote to understand, not to copy. You want to copy, I can directly write the code. No. Right. People are showing genetic intelligence. Now look at this. Now this iteration will run number of times. So here I have to give. So each time the loop run, one lightning card will be created with the size 4. 4, 4, 4, next 4, 4, 4. In every lightning item, again internally they have one lightning layout. In the layout item again we have 2. One small size, one larger size. The small size message 1, message 2. Now down the line, when I go to wrapper classes and use it, there I'll give you image location, message and the description. Right now we are only going with primitive. We didn't cover any wrapper classes or any stuff. Down the line when you go to wrapper classes, in the lightning layout 1, here I will be giving what? Image. In the wrapper class will have a.image URL. In the a.image URL, then below that I will be getting your description, okay, message. Here I will be giving a.description. Okay, right now we can create the block structure. You can try out this structure, combination of iteration and lightning layout. Try to achieve this structure. Okay, but right, you will not be getting the same. Only thing what I am giving is service, 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 service. Same message printed twice. Service, 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 service. Right, boss? A, B, B, C, C, D, D. Like that, we will be getting a message. Once you got the structure, next when I go to wrapper class, I'll try to embed the wrapper class concept here to get these images and messages. I hope you got the concept. Can we achieve this theme? With respect to the topic what we have done, can we achieve this theme? Right, boss? Okay. Yes, someone online, someone is asking a question. Go ahead now.
Satish, if you look at the array example component on the top,
Okay.
can we scroll up, Satish? Line 1.
Yes.
So you are directly mentioning list cities, and we are not mentioning which type of list it is, like list
know?
of string or the default value. Yes, Satish.
See.
But in case if you don't mention the default value, where
Now
do
the
I?
point is, here we are supposed to get the value. I can assign this value from the JavaScript, or I can assign this value from the JavaScript, or I have to take it as a default value. Now I am not writing any controller, straight away I give the default value. Otherwise, what you can do? Otherwise, what you are supposed to go to the JavaScript component dot set array of values.
Okay. So it will basically pick up the data type from the.
See, now I told you already. When you give this, what is the meaning of this integer? Is no.
Yes.
Data
No.
type
If
is-
I don't mention default,
No,
and
if
if
you
I'm
don't
pushing
mention
it
default also, what is the variable? Forget about the default. Default is an option for you. It is not mandatory. Now, what is the data type now? Integer array
integer.
ages.
Yes. Yes.
Right?
But in the
Integer-
second
okay.
line, Satish, like
Say
city is
integer
first
is.
equal to. Yeah.
Now you're not mentioned here. Depends upon the value what you pass, it will take.
Okay. Yeah. That was my question, Satish. Thank you.
Okay. I hope you are good with this. People are good with this example. Clear for everyone? Clear? Okay. Now let us extend. Anyone has any difficulty understanding the topics that we have covered? Everyone is good with these examples? Right? Comfortable with this? Sure. Followed, everyone has followed. Right. Okay. Now, if I'm going fast, let me know. Okay. I'm in the presumption that if you
Satish,
already know,
Satish, I'm getting a difficulty to understand that S object.
right. First thing you need to understand is while I'm talking, you should not interrupt. When I stop, you should ask me. That is online people, please do not interrupt when I'm talking it. When I stop, you can ask the question. Please note a point. Okay. Now go ahead with your question. What is your question? Go ahead with your question online.
Yeah, sorry, Satish. I was finding difficulty to understand that S object. So that type also you are taking as account or S object, and default also you are taking. That is default. What is that default is doing? Is it allocating memory?
Now, right now, the default is only allocating the memory. The default, it is allocating the memory. See, there are two things what I have to do with was public class example. Example. Now, how will you assign the memory to this example? Tell me.
ACC is equal to new account.
Now, there are two ways of doing it. One I am doing ACC equal to new. The other one what I am doing is my ACC equal to is it also valid? Valid or no? Okay. Is it also valid? These are the ways in which you are assigning. In the scripting also, attribute name equal to ACC, type equal to account. When I do it, then from the script, write a query to write a call to a Apex class, get the account, then say component dot set ACC, okay, value from Apex. This is what there I was getting one account from the Apex class. That account I was assigning to ACC. Right? This is one way. The second way, now you don't want to get the data and display it. You don't want to get the data and display it. You want to take the data from the component enter and send this data to Apex class. Here what I am doing, from Apex I am getting the data, I am assigning to variable. But what I am doing, I want to create an account, insert into database. Right? In this case, what are you doing? You are not taking the data from database. You want to create your own account and you want to send this data to Apex. So what should I do? I have to give ACC equal to new account. Now in this case, what is that? You are taking the data from database, trying to display on the page and use it. Now, with respect to the example what I gave here, when I told account ACC, now what is the value of ACC? You want to display or you want to take the data? If you want to display, what will you do? I will write some JavaScript code which will make a call to server, get the data, assign that data to ACC, then I will say ACC.name, ACC.4, ACC.industry. No, my requirement is not fetching the data and displaying. My requirement is sending the data to server. I will create one account, send it to the server, server should insert it. My requirement is, I want to create one account record, send it to Apex class should insert. If you want to insert the data, what should I do? ACC equal to new account. How will you create that ACC equal to new account? Right now, default. This is one way. If you don't do with the default, what is the other choice you have to do? Create one account in the Apex class, send that account to me like this. Base with your mic. Now,
Yeah, okay, fine.
right. Otherwise, what I should do? If you don't want to do this, then what I have to do? Go to JavaScript, get one account, assign to this one. Now I didn't write any Apex programming. So what I was trying to do? I was trying to create account directly in the component by giving default. Right? When I go to Apex programming, what I will do? I will go there, I will create one account, get that account, assign that account to ACC, then I will use it. I hope you got my point. Okay. Any other query, Amma? Any other query from anyone else? Am I clear with this? Okay. Okay. Now, I'll try to just quickly. How many of you have had an idea about SFDX? SFDX. Okay. Right. Here, today, market is more insisting on SFDX for the version controlling purpose. Okay. Now, what we are creating right now? So, what we are creating? Lighting we are creating directly in the developer console. Okay. So, these lighting programs you are supposed to practice on the SFDX also. Okay. Because when you go to Lightning Web Components concept, everything will be done from SFDX. Okay. The enhancements to the Lightning is, previously we had UI components that was removed. Now we got Lightning. The enhancements to the Lightning is Lightning Web Components. The next level of Lightning is what? Lightning Web Components. Coming down, probably after 6 or 1 year, if you look at Lightning Web Components will be used instead of Lightning Components. Initially, we started with the Yura component frameworks that was replaced with Lightning. Now people started adopting it. Now people are marketed. Salesforce just introduced a Lightning Web Components, okay, to improve the performances. Now probably after maybe one or so, now people at least know what the Lightning Web Components are. Today's market standard, what you are finding for Lightning today, okay, the same will be coming for the Lightning Web Components maybe after one year plus, okay, right? So that all Lightning Web Components concepts are running on SFDX, okay. So I'll just try to give a couple of information. What was this? So I'll try to do one thing. I'll just try to give a quick idea about SFDX. The Apex classes we'll try to see in the next session. I'll just quickly give idea about the SFDX. Now, right, if everybody is okay, I'll go with SFDX introduction. Otherwise, we'll go with Apex. Okay. Is that okay for everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Basically, here there are two things which we will be having in the SFDX. It's called continuous integration. The SFDX is used for continuous integration. So here we have a concept called DevHub, and we'll be having a concept called DevHub and Scratcher. Now I have a production or a developer edition. Here, this is my called DevHub. You may consider this as a production or a sandbox, whatever it is. From here, what I will try to do is create one Scratch app. I'll create a Scratch app. Till now, what are you doing? You went to the production, you went to the Salesforce, you went to the production, created a sandbox. You are creating everything on the sandbox. So you went to the production, you went to the production, in the production, you have created a sandbox. That sandbox you give to developer, developers are working on it. Okay. Now let me give a context here. I have a scenario here. Now tell me how this will be resolved. I have one developer sandbox, let's say developer pro sandbox. I have a developer pro sandbox. I want 4 developers to work on it. Four different users are logging into developer pro sandbox. Now all of them are logging into developer pro sandbox. All of them are working at a time. If all of them are working at a time, now all of them are working at a time. Suppose if 2 people are trying to work on the same file, then what will happen? Right? Now all of them are trying to work. Now when I am working on some functionality, that functionality is not available to the other one. Now there is a conflict of interest. Right? Now I modified some change, immediately you also modified it. My old code is lost. Now he wrote a program here. He wrote a program, some file you opened, he wrote a program ABC. The same program, because all the 4 people can log in, the Sham logged into the same developer pro sandbox, opened the file ABC, modified as XYZ. ABC and XYZ. He added some code. Then when the same developer Ram came, when he opened, what is the file you find? ABC, XYZ. Now that file is not working properly, I want to revert back to the old file. Now Sham has developed some code, Ram has modified the same page, then the code is not working properly, I want to revert back to the old code. Then in the developer console, version control is not available. In the developer console, there is no version controlling. If you want to use a version controlling, we are going with external tools. Maybe you are going with an Eclipse, with a JIT. The reason why we go to Eclipse is to maintain a version controlling. The reason why you are going to force.com tool is to maintain a version controlling. Because whenever we make a development from the developer console, there is no version controlling. If I write a program, save it, the old program is permanently lost, new program is saved. Tomorrow, if I want to get back to the old file, there is no way you can get back to the old file from the developer console. Did you get my point? I wrote a program called ABC. I saved it. Somebody opened the same program and modified the program as ABC XYZ. Then, if I want to revert back to ABC, there is no way we can revert back to ABC because the developer console doesn't maintain version control. That is the reason why people are adopting the third-party tools. That is the reason why the people are going for a third-party tools, going for a Jetway, okay, GitHub, Jenkins, all this stuff we are using, because internally we don't have any version controlling system. There is no mechanism for version controlling in the Salesforce as a built-in property. As a built-in property, we don't have the version controlling system. So then the Salesforce has given the opportunity for, they are given introduce a concept which can help you to maintain the version control. Now here, what is happening? When SAM modified, the old code is lost, new code is copied. If I want to get back to old code, there is no way, because when multiple people are trying to work on the same sandbox, okay, the changes what you made is permanently replicated. Now I cannot get back. So to avoid this, what Salesforce has done, they have introduced a concept called Salesforce DX. Now you got an instant. Let you take it as a sandbox or a production, whatever it is. Okay. Now I consider as DevHub. The main instance is DevHub. Okay, where the people want to work. Previously, people are working directly on the DevHub. Now what happened? They created a scratch arts. That may be from production or that may be from sandbox. Okay. Now my DevHub can be a production or a sandbox. I created a scratch art. From DevHub, I created a scratch arts. I created a scratch art. So what is a scratch art? It is a copy of DevHub. Previously, we used to create a sandboxes. There is a limitation on number of sandboxes again. We need to purchase extra sandboxes. Now there is a developer pro sandbox. I want a copy of the developer. I have to use one more sandbox for this. My company has 10 sandbox boss. Now I require, okay, I want 3 people to have 3 developer pro sandboxes. Now because all the 3 people cannot work on the same. If they are working, there is a conflict of interest. So in that case, what should I do? I have to give them 3 different developer pro. Now in this case, what I am doing, I am creating a scratch art. What are these scratch arts? They are temporary instances. Okay, sandbox is a permanent instance. You create the sandbox, unless you delete it, they still remain. But here, scratch arcs are the temporary arcs. How long they can be there? At the time of creating a scratch arc, it will ask you for how many days you want. Minimum 1, maximum 30 days. After 30 days, automatically that is lost. So they are what? Scratch arcs. Now, I will create a scratch arcs. I'll ask my developers to work on this. Right. So all the developers are working on different. Instead of working on the same DevHub, now they are working on their own local instances. Now what is it? They say they are creating a temporary instance of the DevHub. Previously, all of them are working on the same sandbox. Now they have created their own local temporary arcs. Now this guy will develop the code and he push the code here. He push the code. Then this guy can fetch the code, make the changes, push the code. Fetch the code, make the changes, push the code. Fetch the code. So everybody has their own local instance. So without getting deviated, without getting affected from others' work, you have your own instance. You're working on your instance. Now you can pull and push whenever you want. You can pull the changes or push the changes whenever you want. Once the code comes to this location, then I will deploy. Now DevHub scratch arcs. Now here also, if they want to maintain version controlling, now everybody has their own local copy. Previously, 4 users are logging into sandbox. They are working on the same copy. But now, if 4 people are logging in, they are working on 4 different scratch arcs. Previously, we had one sandbox. 4 developers are logging into Developer Pro. All the 4 are working on the same Force.com instance, right? But now, all of them have the same set of data. whatever the changes you made, if other person make the changes, you will not have your copy. But here now what is happening? Everybody is getting their own copy, local temporary copy they are getting, and you are logging into your temporary copy and working on it. Alright, so until you push it, your changes are not replicated in the dev. But in the developer proposed sandbox and developer sandbox, when I log in, when I save it, automatically they are reflected to other people. But here, unless you push it, your changes are not replicated to other people. So, you got my point here. Previously, when you are working in a developer sandbox, 4 people logged in. Now, every time you make a changes and save it, automatically reflected to other people. But whereas here, it is not reflected to other people. Everyone has their own copies. When you feel everything is okay, you will push the code to dev. Only when you push it, it will be replicated to other people. And other people also, when they pull it to their system, they get the changes. Okay, and everybody want to maintain, and every time you are making a change, I want to save it. Then this is connected to, the scratch arcs or DevHub is connected to GitHub. So every time I push, I'll maintain that as one version in the GitHub, or I'll maintain this as one version in the, okay. Every time you push it, I want to take this code and save it to my repository as one local version. Are you getting my point? Right. Now what these people you can do? From this scratch arc, again I can create subscratch. From this scratch arc I can create one more, okay, subscratch. So the people can work without deviating, the team can work without deviating on different instances of the work. Are you getting my point? Now this scratch arcs, okay, if this is scratch arc, that's what I'm trying to say. When you're trying to use your own instance, when everything is okay, you want to upload it. When you're uploading it, still there's a possibility that other old code is required. Then what we do? You maintain this code to repository. Now every time I upload to DevHub, it will store as one repository. Repository 1. Again, scratch 2 people pull the class number C. They modified it, again pushed it. That is stored to GitHub as one more version. GitHub as one more version. So you are working on individual instances, you are pushing the code. When you push the code I am storing as one version. Then when you pull back and make the changes and push it, again it is stored as one more version. Like that, we are maintaining the version controlling also. So they have scratch arc connected with the GitHub or bucketing to maintain the version. The advantage is, instead of all of you working on a single call instant, they are creating a temporary instance for you, asking you to work. When everything is okay, you push it, then only the changes will be replicated to other people. So what I am trying to do, branching is done. I hope you got my point. So this is the basic story about the scratch arc. But to work with this scratch arc, to work with this DevHub and scratch arc, you need to understand a few things here. A few things like VS Code, you need to understand CLI, JIT, creation of scratch arcs, and these 4 concepts you have to understand. I'll just quickly show one example. I'll show how to install all this stuff in the next class. So this is my SFDX. But what is happening? I told you, I gave single screen. All of you are asking me to modify the single screen, right? This one. I gave small screens to everyone. I asked you to make the changes on your screen. Once everything is okay, then come and put it on the major screen. Then what will happen?
Sir, I want to say everyone has screenshot. So screenshot, if one is pushing the data, and after 30 days, again the whole data is required. So
in the repository we are pushing, no? Pull it from the repository.
no, someone has made changes in it.
See, every time you push it to this, I will maintain as a repository, ma. See, simple funda. You got a notepad. Okay. I got a notepad. I attached 3 keypads to my laptop. I asked all the 3 people to modify it. Then where are you modifying? On the single notepad, right? You're typing A, is typing B. There's no, right? Typing. Then you have to give a, but boss, you type it, I'll wait. You type it, I'll wait. Okay. Am I right or no? Now instead of this, what I'm doing? Now notepad, I connected my server, I gave 3 systems. I got my server, I connected, gave 3 systems to 3 developers. You make write whatever you want in your system. Okay. When you're okay, send it to me. When you send it to me, I'm storing in my server. Satish sent version 1. Kumar sent version 1. Then Kumar asked me, okay, can you give me Satish version? I gave the copy to you. You made a changes. Again you sent. Now version 2.0. Again somebody called, modifying. I saved on version 3.0. This is the scratcher because one server, I connected the 3 system to my server. I asked 3 people to work on it. Now you open a notepad, whatever you are typing, you saved it. Until you send it to me, when you feel it's okay, then you send it to me. The moment you send it to me, on my server I am storing version 1.0 received from Satish. Right? Then second person, Kumar asked, send one more copy. Right? Version 2.0 sent from the Kumar. Now he is asking, do you want to store it in the main copy or sub copies? Main branch. Okay. Like that will be maintained. Right now what is happening? There is only one server. All the 3 people are connected to the server with 3 different usernames, and all of you are trying to modify the same. Right? The problem is, if you are trying to modify the same code, there is an issue. Now, if all the 3 people log in, working on 3 different files, there is no problem. Okay. And the second thing is, now 3 people logged in. 3 people logged in. Now all the 3 people are trying to use a class called, okay, invoice controller. Right? I was trying to use invoice controller, print the data. Somebody else is modifying invoice controller. What will happen? I got affected. Okay. He is making enhancements. He is making enhancements on invoice controller. Now when he is making enhancements on invoice controller, I am getting affected. That is the reason what they are doing. Boss, you take your local copy first. You take your local copy. You work on invoice controller enhancement. You work on creating the VF page on invoice controller. So he is working on the old data, he is working on the new data. So both of them can work. When you upload it, if you feel that the changes are done, I can pull those changes, replicate in my system. I hope you got my point here. Right? Somebody is working on I got a user story. I got one backlog. My backlog was take the invoice controller, display it in the VF page, send as a PDF. Send this VF page as a PDF in the email. This is my user story. Now I was working on the existing invoice controller. Second user story is in the invoice controller. In the invoice controller, the data what they are printing right now, they are printing name, phone, okay, company name, phone number, email. They also ask to print date and so and so. Some extra fields they ask to print it. So what they are doing? Somebody is working on that invoice controller. I am working on invoice controller. Whatever the data is there in the invoice controller, display the VF, convert it to PDF. Now I cannot wait until he completes. Both of us cannot work on the same file. Right? Either I have to create a separate sandbox to you. And give it to you, or else I have to wait until he completes. But in this case, what is happening? We are creating scratch charts. Now in this scratch chart, this guy is working on his functionality because scratch chart is a copy of debug. Now he is working on his thing. When he feel that enhancement is right, his enhancement may fail, may success. When he feel that everything is done, he will push it. Until then, I can continue with my work now. Right? This is the advantage of going for it. Now, version controlling is allowed, LES also without developer scratch chart. But there, different people are working from different sandboxes. On the same box, on the same sandbox, on the same function, you are not working. Different people are working on different sandboxes, trying to push their code into repository, maintain the version. But here what I am trying, the same are, multiple people are trying to log in and trying to work on the same functionality at different. Got it? Right? Okay. So this is how you find it. This is my so let me I'm just connecting back to my div hub. No, it's done. Now I was connected to my code. Here I was trying to create default scratch. Now I'm trying to create default scratch. How many days you want to create it as scratch? I told 7 days. I'll tell you the procedure. I'm just showing the quick access here. But start practicing your code from this. Okay, even your regular Apache programming is also start practicing from this, because down the line this is going to be high priority for you. Down the line, maybe of a couple of months, people are going to have this as the main one. Okay. So I created. Then I was creating. What was our requirement? I want to create lightning component. Somebody has asked me, do you get auto help? This is how we are getting auto help. When you're working with this, you also get auto help. Initially, you may find it difficult using this, but I'm making it is going to make a lot of impact on your career in the coming days. Then I create in my logos. Now this I'm pushing to my scratch arc. I made a small mistake here. Now, whatever I've done from here, I'm pushing to my arc. So we are maintaining. Now from here, I can also send it to my repository. I can write a command to send a repository. So before I push, I want to save it. There's some mistake in the code. What was that?
DX.
Yeah. Now from here, I'll push it to the dev hub. I can also push it to the repository. Send it to repository, send it to dev hub. So parallel version controlling can be done here. So there was a track. My Lightning Web Component was running actually. There is a mistake with my code. Fine. My existing Lightning Web Component was running, so there is an issue with that. Now what happened here? What happened? You are trying to push the code. This code will be pushed to my repository. Okay, I have some Lightning Web Components which are uncommitted, so we are having issue with the pushing the data. Okay. I hope you got the structure. So this is how we will be using it. Now, how to create this environment? How to create the DevOps? How to create the scratch arc? How to work with the Visualforce code? How to push control repository? We'll try to see. We'll try to execute a couple of programs from next class. We'll try to access everything from the DX for a couple of days. 2-3 weeks we'll try to practice from the DX. Then we can go back. By now you are very much comfortable with the developer console. There's nothing, right? File new and create. Let's do it from the DX. At least you'll get new concept of version controlling for the future, right? Chalo. That's all from my end. We'll continue tomorrow.
Satish, I have a doubt.